I want to share with you a funny clip from MSNBC's Joy Reid. This woman she's like just, the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, we conservatives sort of laugh at her. I think it's worth seeing because you need to know their mentality and exactly how they think. But she went on and did this little impromptu thing to her phone because she's so upset that the Republican Party and Donald Trump is apparently okay with IVF. I mean, it gets really convoluted and kind of confusing because you would think that she would be okay with this, right? Except that if Donald Trump's okay with it, then she can't be okay with it. So suddenly now she doesn't want anybody having babies. No, we don't need any more babies. We have maximum capacity population. I mean, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. By the way, you talk to any economist and our biggest weakness is that we don't have enough in terms of population. She wants to grow the population with migrants coming in that are committing crimes. I think of the horrific situation that just happened down in Georgia. That's not the way you want to grow your population, okay, lady? You want to actually have babies with people that want to have babies, that can provide for those babies to ensure that those babies have a prosperous future and are contributing members of society. But oh no, apparently not. Here's Joy Reid. You got to hear this.
The United States has a population of north of 327 million people. Why do we need more kids? I mean, your party, Senator Tuberville, is the one screaming that 10 million immigrants, which I don't even know that number even makes any sense because it doesn't, have streamed into the country since Joe Biden has been president. And you're claiming that that's too many people, that if more people come into the southern border, this is some sort of crisis because we've got too many people and we've got no more space and we can't afford more people. But now you're saying we need more kids? Can you explain who's the we and what's the purpose? You're also a senator from the state of Alabama. God help the people there. Are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids? Why does the state of Alabama need more kids? More kids for what? There was a time when the state of Alabama absolutely needed more kids because, Alabama was a slave state. And the mandate of the planter class in Alabama was for Black women to produce more kids because those kids were property and they could work more kids and make more money on their plantations. Are you saying the state of Alabama needs more kids because you think that those populations will include people who are maybe destitute and desperate enough if you kick out the immigrants like a lot of y'all want to do and you could make them do the work that the migrants are doing now? Because that kind of sounds slavery-ish. Is the state of Alabama the we? And is that the why? I mean, you're also a white guy. Are you saying the we is white folks need more kids? Is this like a great replacement thing where you're concerned that there's not enough white people in the population versus the growth of the Latino population, the Black population, the Asian American population? And so the we is white people need to make white women have more kids and that's the we and that's the why? Because it's a little creepy, a little handmade.
No, I'm sorry, lady. You're a little creepy. Really creepy. I mean, she's just all over the place there. And now she's talking about slavery and race and somehow being okay with IVF is really about some kind of Aryan dream. You knew they would go there, right? I mean, this was insane to me. In fact, as this issue came up, I said to someone, I said, just watch. Donald Trump, he's like, damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Because if he says, you know what, if he doubles down on sort of every embryo is a life and therefore they must all be protected, et cetera, and therefore we must get rid of IVF, well, then they were going to jump all over him. You know that, right? They would jump all over him. Oh, you're not for women's reproductive rights, et cetera. But then he came out and he did like a little fast one on them. He actually came out and said, I'm for this. And I'm for this because I want to make sure that people that want to have children that otherwise couldn't are able to do so. We want more healthy children with parents that can take care of them in the world. And so as soon as he said that, I'm like, okay, here we go. Just cue it up, right? They're all going to go bonkers and they're going to say that this is somehow, him as some kind of nut job who wants to encourage white people to have kids over any other. I mean, and no sooner did I say this And The View, sure enough, came out with this little number, Sonny Austin, trying to say, well, kind of exactly what Joy Reid was saying. I mean, these people are just unbelievable, 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 unbelievable. Watch it.
It doesn't make sense. On the one hand, they want you to not have an abortion. Then they also don't want you to have more children. Make up your minds, whatever that means.
I actually think they do want you to have more children, and they're just not saying the quiet part out loud.
Which is?
Right? Which is multicultural Americans are going to become the majority population by 2050. By 2050, the Hispanic Americans are expected to have the most population growth, an increase of about 6%, while the white population is expected to decrease by about 11%. At this time, the birth rate for white Americans in this country has been falling since the Great Recession, and it's dropped almost 23% between 2007 and 2022. So,
but wouldn't more white women be getting the IVF? So that increases what they want.
That's why they want IVF. But they can't say, yes, an embryo. They're coming out sort of against it and not being able to explain why. They want to have more American white children born because the birth rate has gone down.
Okay, so
why
I don't see it. I don't see this.
That's
Just
the
to be
quiet
clear, I don't
part.
see this as a race issue. What I see is until it affects them, they don't care. Yeah. So the most disenfranchised among us, the poorest among us, need to be able to family plan. We need women's health. We need the Planned Parenthoods. We need all of these things. As we shut it down and keep closing the gap as to how far back we'll roll it, the people it hurts the most are the poorest, the have-nots. So when it hits the haves in the face because all their wives want to go have babies, that's when they make change. And guess what they're doing today? They're taking it back to make change. That's not a race thing. That's a money thing.
No, but it's race, and it's
No,
also
no,
about
no.
the queer
Lady,
community,
it's a
because
race
who
thing.
uses IVF?
Sonny will tell you.
The LGBTQ community also uses IVS and surrogacy,
But
and they don't want that.
But I want to make
That's
sure
the quiet part.
They're
would say
gonna
I'm
make this a
saying
race
about
thing. This
them
is
more than
absolutely
they're
what they're
thinking
gonna
of
do. Okay, like I said it before it even happened. It's sad that this is immediately where they go, but this is identity politics at its worst, and this is what Barack Obama practiced, and Joe Biden is trying to put into play. That's his only way of winning.